This is going to be a review on the different orthotic and prosthetic facilities that I've been through in the last 6 months, and it's going to be of 6 facilities, and it's going to be based on the views are going to be rated on these emoticons. And so we're going to start here. This guy is like sad and confused. This guy is sad, and this guy is angry. This guy is pissed off. This guy is like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm surprised. This guy is pissed off. This guy right here is sad, and probably a little confused. This guy right here is very happy. This guy is just elated. So we're going to jump right in. What I've done is also color-coded the satisfaction and the ratings. And so we're going to jump right in here. And this I'm going to itemize the categories by as follows. First is going to be customer service. How many customers were in the waiting area, cultural diversity, the facility itself, questions about the my activity level, the options they offered, and the device. So jumping right in, we're going to go with, this is the rating right here, how many stars I've given them. Okay, so I've given a step ahead out of Hicksville, New York. I've given them 3 stars. And I'm going to start by saying that they were, I wasn't exactly happy with them. So I'm going to give them, these faces. And the reason why is because the customer service, the owner treated me like he was doing me a favor. I overheard his employees talking bad about me. As for the customers, there were anywhere from 1 to 2 plus me during any visit. The cultural diversity was not good. There was only one Chinese guy, and the rest were all white people. The facility itself had a treadmill, had a bicycle, had a lot of mirrors, offered a tour of the facility, and they offered great coffee and hot chocolate. This is important to me, as you're going to be waiting for a long time. Then there were questions about my activity level. I was a new amputee, but they did ask me about my level of activity before I was an amputee. They offered me no options, okay? And then the device was good for the first 3 times. The last time, the device was the worst. It left me in a lot of pain. And moving on now, we're going to go to New York REHAB. I went from prosthetics and a step ahead right there to these people here. New York REHAB. They're out of Lawrenceville, New York. And the customer service was nothing impressive about them, nothing to talk about. The customers, there were none. There's just me alone. The cultural diversity was one black guy who was a Jew and a Spanish guy who cleaned up. The rest were all Jewish people. The facility had crude-looking prosthetic materials laying about on dirty, unkept counters, and they had no exercise equipment. They asked no questions about my activity level, and they offered no options. And the device could not be worse. The material was cheap and ill-fitting. So that's my review for New York REHAB. They were among the worst. Then from them, I went on to Prosthetics in Motion, and I gave them 3 stars. Okay, and I left feeling somewhat okay with them. I will give them, a kind of nice face. And the reason was the customer service was not great. They did not follow up. One of three people were nice. The owner, Chris, and his girlfriend Rachel were not nice people. The customers, and there was me plus another person. The cultural diversity is they did have blacks working there, including a black prosthetist. The facility and stuff, I gave a 4 stars to because I was most impressed with this. They had equipment, ramp, stairs, offered coffee and hot chocolate. And they did offer me options. So I gave them 4 stars for that too, because this is the first time I had ever heard of the vacuum method. I am below the knee amputee, and so this is my first time hearing about the vacuum method, and it was there that I got excited about it. So then which brings me to the device itself. They didn't offer a good skin. The skin had no definition, and compared to the skin that I have now, it wasn't a good look for them. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Okay, let's go to Eschen, Orthotics, and Prosthetics. Okay, now Eschen, Orthotics, and Prosthetics. I gave them, if I could take away stars, you see here, this is a negative star. If I could take away stars from them, I would. In fact, all over this place, I'm going to put angry faces, mad faces. This was the worst experience ever. Eschen Prosthetics and Orthotics on East 72nd Street in New York City. The customer service, they spoke to me in a very condescending way and did not listen to my needs. The cultural diversity there was minimal. They were all white people. So I don't know if you can see here next to each comment on each category has a star next to it. I've rated them for each one just 1 star. The customers, there was just me plus one other person. The facility didn't even have a mirror, much less any kind of equipment. I was unimpressed by the questions they asked me about my activity level. They told me that in terms of options that I had to do things their way, that I don't have a choice. They actually told me that, which is why I'm so angry. You know, who are you to tell me that, you know, my service or device is going to be based on the prosthetist advisement rather than my own preference? How dare you? Okay, and last, I was casted by a resident or a trainee on the device. The fit was terrible. They lied to me about the device being a movable foot. The foot was not something that moved at all, and they would not negotiate about the above issues. So they were the worst, absolute the worst. I put that there, the worst. The Eschen Prosthetics and Orthotics and Prosthetics. Okay, which brings us now to Orthotic treatment facility out there in Queens, which I gave 2 stars to, and I'll just leave it here like this because, oh, well, we're doing an additional one here. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, the customer service, I gave 3 stars to. They didn't follow up. They weren't friendly. The receptionist, they were friendly, I'm sorry. The receptionist was over talkative. The cultural diversity, it was a small office, so there was only 2 people. Both of them were white. There was no customers there. The facility, this was the deciding factor for me. They didn't have enough class to put a decent chair in the office. The chair itself was raggedy. The office had no equipment and a small mirror, which is, you know, how we gaze, how we walk. They did ask about my level of activity, so I gave them 5 stars for that. They offered options. I already knew my options going in now. The device, I wouldn't even let them cost me. So in all fairness, I gave them the stars that I gave them not on any delivery of any kind of device, because once I saw that raggedy chair, I was over. So I gave them 2 stars. Which brings us now to Hanger Clinic in South Carolina. Okay, so I gave them 3 stars there in South Carolina. And the reason why is because this was a charity. Okay, this was a charity type of thing. So the customer service, I gave them a 5 stars on the customer service. I was a charity case and they gave me the leg for free. The cultural diversity, there was no people of color on staff. This was in Rock Hill, South Carolina. The number of customers in there was 2 plus myself. The facility had no equipment and was not very clean. And they did ask me about the level of activity. I was a brand new amputee, so that's not really relevant. They didn't offer me any options. Again, I was a recent amputee, and I was told by Step Ahead concerning the device that it was a hazard to be walking on. And it was very ill built. That word is supposed to be built. I spelled it wrong. But I was able to walk, and I'm so grateful for them. So that's why I gave them, I'll even give them a little bit of a smile. Not much of a smile. Like, that's enough. That's fine. So this is now going to Hanger Clinic in New York. Now, I've given them 5 stars. Hanger Clinic in Bronx, New York was beyond beautiful to me. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 all over the place because I was delighted, absolutely delighted with the final results of this. So let's get through this, shall we? The Hanger Clinic in the Bronx had decent customer service. They were a busy office, so they were straight to the point, which I can appreciate. You don't have to be overly friendly to me. The cultural diversity, I gave them 5 stars because it was multicultural all around the board. In fact, the prosthetist was a woman. I gave them a 5 for customers because there were always 5 or more people in there. The facility itself, what can I say? This is why I gave this such a big smiling face, and because it made me so happy. They had a ramp and stairs, full mirrors. They gave you a tour of the facility. They had videos explaining who they were, their start. They played videos explaining just what it is they offer. And as for the asked about the level of activity, I gave them 5 stars because they did ask me. They offered me options, which I gave them 5 stars for, and the device itself I gave them more than 5 stars for because it exceeded my expectations. They went above and beyond. See for yourself and watch the videos following this and the great electronic foot that works with as an app on my phone, and I have great cosmetic skin. So with this said, and guys, I hope that you choose the facility based on this review that will be best for you. By all means, this is something that I did not see on the internet, so I just find it that it was necessary to make this video. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day and that things work out good for you. Take care.